facility and slashes jobs. What impact does that have on the residents?
Well, workers are the most important component of care in any setting, especially in nursing homes and assisted living. So that could be devastating for residents. But we know, unfortunately, as we don't have a lot of data directly on assisted living, we have some on senior care in general and, of course, on nursing homes and other care settings. We know that when private equity comes in to a sector, they often pillage it.
Yeah.
More than $80,000 receiving a payment. I also want you guys to know that the IRS may owe you money based on crisis-related funds. Stimulus funds, that is, if you haven't even gotten your stimulus check yet. A ton of information about the Ford stimulus check is here, and stimulus payments are here for you and the people that need it the most. Chuck Schumer and the Senate could give a final proposal and approval by Thursday, in a week extension of the stimulus payments. Schumer said the House of Representatives is set to act on a one-week continuing resolution and a stopgap funding bill as soon as tonight. And when the bill comes to the Senate, we should be ready to get this done as soon as possible. So, Chuck Schumer also said that House Republicans have encouraged their leaders to vote against the bill in a protest of what they call trillions of dollars of wasteful spending, even though it's going to the people that need stimulus the most. The House of Representatives had already passed a short-term funding bill last night to avoid this government shutdown. They kicked the Friday funding deadline next week to allow lawmakers more time to strike a deal on the spending for the remainder of the fiscal year 2023. The continuing resolution passed in a 224 to 201 vote and now heads to the Senate, where it must pass and be sent to President Biden's desk before midnight on Friday to avoid a shutdown. This measure will keep the government funded at current levels until December 23rd. Also, folks, in a notice sent by the House Minority Leader, he said that leadership recommended Republicans to vote no on the bill in an attempt to buy additional time for a lame duck session. But now this means that gas prices are continuing to drop as demand lowered and oil prices held steady. The national average for a cost of gas is $3.26, and that's 50 cents less than a month ago and 6 cents less than a year ago. As the winter weather keeps people homebound, less demand for gas and continued stability in oil prices has contributed to the steady decline of gas prices. AAA spokesperson told Fox News that the seasonal pattern of less driving due to shorter days and crummy weather, combined with lower oil costs, is driving gas prices lower. If this trend continues, many states could see their average gas price fall by $3 a gallon. Under the weight of economic concerns, everybody, a possible surge in crisis and a changed psyche is causing oil prices last week to fall again to nearly a decade low. The latest projections from the Social Security Trustees Program combined funds may run out in 2034, at which 80% of benefits will be payable. And the fund used to pay retirement benefits may run out even sooner, in 10 years, at which point 77% of benefits will actually be payable as well. And during a Senate hearing, the SSA Chief Secretary stated that Social Security is a pay-as-you-go program, and up to $160,000 earnings are subject to payroll taxes. In 1983, when major bills were enacted to shore up Social Security trust funds, 90% of uncovered benefits fell below the terrible maximum. And since then, it has remained above that same level. And even the Senate Budget Committee chairman has touted this bill, which is called the Medicare and Social Security Fair Share Act. It would require wages above $400,000 to be taxed for Social Security. Other Democrats also support the idea of making high earners pay a large sum into the program. Representative Larson and the senators introduced the Social Security 2100 Act bill with more than 200 Democratic co-sponsors, calling for applying Social Security payroll taxes to incomes of over $200,000, while also having the wealthy pay taxes on the businesses and income investments as well. Polls have shown that raising Social Security payroll tax is a popular topic with the public. Yet the recent Senate hearing, some leaders and experts questioned what is the right approach to help people out with their American stimulus cash. But so far, Democrats' proposals would actually push the marginal tax rate to over 50%, and many would break Joe Biden's promise not to raise taxes on anyone making less than $400,000. Even Grassley argued this. The next cost of living increase for Social Security recipients is projected to be slightly better than previously estimated, but still the lowest in years. The Senior Citizens League predicts that. And also, they have estimated that in mid-June 2024, COLAs could be somewhere around 2.7%, a huge drop-off from 2023's 8.7% increase. And the latest, slightly larger estimate comes despite cooling inflation, which generally has the opposite effect on social asset. And now, in Maine, all recipients of the SNAP program will have their monthly benefits delivered to them by today. SNAP benefits are distributed to eligible residents from the 10th to the 14th of every month, with all beneficiaries scheduled to have their benefit Oil prices have struggled mightily to hold its rally even on some potentially bullish news, each time falling back down as fundamentals look struggles. Gavin Newsom even said that he announced a proposal to penalize oil companies for reported price gouging in a bid to deter excessive price increases and keep people in California safe from this inflation spike. Under the proposed law, state agencies would even close more review gas costs, profits, and pricing, as well provide a state with greater regulatory oversight of the refining. What this means is that stimulus payments are being on hold for now because of the gas prices. And now, the Census Bureau also projects that the problem will become more widespread in the coming years, as more baby boomers who began turning 65 years in 2021 join the rank of the retired. In 2050, the U.S. population ages 65 and older will be 90 million, nearly double what it was 10 years ago. So in a trip, analysts believe that the latest election results could lead to a $1,000 stimulus check for Minnesota. There are two reasons why Democrats could go ahead with the stimulus checks. First, Minnesota is still sitting on top of a $9 billion surplus, thanks to a tax high collection. The state budget office estimated $9 billion in surplus money in March. Second, the governor, during his campaign trail speeches, reminded voters of his plan to use the surplus money to send up to $1,000 stimulus checks to individuals qualify for as much as $25,000 that could be put towards a home purchase. And Joe Biden is also tanking on junk fees and rising food prices. But so far, everybody, although more Americans own homes than rent, experts say the number of gap between the two categories is shrinking. This is as housing costs continue to climb, pricing out prospective homeowners. And more economically disadvantaged renters may get the chance to own a home in the future if a down payment assistance bill is developed during Joe Biden's campaign for president. The Down Payment and Toward Equity Act is the first-time buyer home grant, promises to administer $100 billion in direct assistance to families first time. It's going to provide qualifying assistance to certain first-time, first-generation homeowners in purchasing their first homes. Up to $25,000 in funding is given at closing, rather than offered as a tax relief credit, and can be used to assist people who are eligible for home buyers with mortgage down payments. A first-time home buyer is also defined as someone who hasn't really owned a home in the prior 3 years, while first-generation buyers, somebody eligible for the grant program, if their parents or guardians have never bought a house in the United States. Under this plan, to qualify for the $25,000, homeowners have to have a certain household income of less than 120% of the area median income. In the case of a home buyer acquiring an eligible home that is actually in a high-cost area, buyers can qualify if they earn up to 180% of the median income in the area. To remain qualified for the assistance program, the home buyer has to live in the house, purchase for 5 years, or risk paying back a portion of the grant. Home buyers have to actually compete and complete a government-approved homeownership education course, and grant money cannot be used for a second home. Originally, it was introduced in July 2021, but now Joe Biden's taking it up for his 2024 run. And the Biden administration has proposed new guidelines for corporate mergers, took steps to disclose junk fees changed by landlords, and launched a crackdown